So then apparently playing guitar for a girl in fishnets makes him a little frisky. So he wanted to, get a little intimate.
Mm-hmm.
But he soon showed his alpha colors. He was so alpha. Oh my God. He wanted to direct every step of what happened intimacy wise. And the first thing he needed me to do was, why am I telling this? The first thing he needed me to do was
welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Welcome to another episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy, the #1 sugar dating podcast in the world, where we pull back the curtains on the good, the bad, and Lily, the so very shocking.
ever so shocking.
Shocking stories.
I would like to be referred to as Kimmy's mom.
Kimmy's mom. Yeah, you were just on the phone with her.
I miss Kimmy.
Yeah. She called you mom. She called me dad. And our sound producer said, Dad? And I said, yeah, I got dad zoned.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I met Kimmy a year ago this week.
Mm-hmm.
It came up in my memories.
Yep.
And who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew that our worlds were about to change for the better?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So you went on a meet and greet this morning?
I did. I'm just fresh off of a lunchtime meet and greet.
How'd that go? I haven't talked to you since, so this is all new to me also.
Well, it was a really lovely gentleman, a Jewish gentleman from Tucson.
Okay.
And he's pretty much retired from, well, he did IBM for a long time, and then he branched out and started his own company, some computational algorithm, something or other.
He made his money in the tech business.
Yeah.
Computer science, something like that.
Sold out to a big name tech company, but I probably shouldn't say it. And so he's on a non-compete for 5 years for that, but I guess they give him a big check to not compete.
All right. So what online site did you meet him?
Seeking.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Because I've been
all over the place.
You've been all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
You met somebody the other day from Millionaire Match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, last episode we didn't get to talk about your library date.
Oh.
And everybody wants to know, how was your first meet and greet at the library?
Yeah. So that one.
At 10:15.
Yeah. Not at 10, not at 10:30. Could I please meet at the public library at 10:15?
At 10:12.
Yes. Well, so this was an older gentleman. I'm going to say late 60s. And he was very sweet and very kind. He was just way too old for me. But, we just kind of walked around outside for a while and talked. And then he needed to return a book. So we went inside so he could return.
People still rent books from the library?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or check them out, I guess.
Yeah, check them out. So he was returning. We kind of bonded over the book because it was an author that my mom really liked and that I read a lot of his books when I was a child just because she had him around. James Herriot. Are you familiar with James Herriot?
I am not.
He was a veterinarian, like a country veterinarian who wrote about all of his adventures.
Nice. Anyway,
so we went in to return his book and he nicely showed me the seed library. And if you are a gardener, you can take 3 packs of seeds per visit.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not.
I never knew there was such a thing existed.
Yeah. He wanted to know if I was a gardener. And I said, no, I am not. I have murderer thumbs. So I think that precludes me from having green thumbs.
Now, what are murderer thumbs?
They're thumbs that look like big toes.
Oh, ooh.
Megan Fox has these.
Oh.
Yeah. And
are mine murder thumbs? They're pretty symmetrical.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Now my big toes look like that.
As do mine.
Yes, look like your thumbs. So.
Exactly.
Holy cow, those do look like big toes now that I think about it.
They're murderer thumbs. And supposedly people who have these thumbs have a higher tendency to possibly have murderous tendencies.
That's concerning.
It truly is. You might want to stay on my good side.
Right. All right, so how did we end it with the library date? Anything going on there?
Yeah, really, he was just very sweet. There were just some things that made me unattracted to him.
Yeah, like what?
Like, he was too old for me. His teeth were brown.
Ooh.
And he was just wearing work clothes he had painted in. Like, they had paint on them. So he didn't even try to dress up for the library, nor our meet and greet. But he was a very nice guy. Don't get me wrong. He was very polite. It just wasn't for me.
No. Well,
and so he's like...
And you instantly knew, right?
Yeah. Well,
it's one of those things kind of where
I instantly knew.
Yeah.
I felt bad. I think he's very lonely. And he told me to let him know if I wanted to see him again. And I just left it at that. I just said, he texted me, it was nice to meet me. And I said, it was nice to meet you as well. And we never communicated again after that.
Right.
So, yeah, it was an unusual meet and greet that went nowhere.
Well, we were supposed to have a guest today, but something came up and they canceled. So, you know what we're going to do today? We're going to go over some articles, maybe read some letters.
We also need to talk about, remember when I said last podcast that I was going to a new restaurant called Aftermath?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I went. It was nice. This is the surgeon that I met that lives in the really nice condo on the waterfront
Okay.
in Scottsdale.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that guy. And
I have a client who lives in that condo complex, their penthouse.
In the penthouse.
Yeah, that's for sale for 5-point-something millions, 4,000 square feet penthouse.
It was beautiful. Actually, I missed a call from her today, so we need to talk about that later.
Oh, she calls me 10 times a day. We're doing a project, and it's stuff that, unfortunately, it's not urgent things. I see her name pop up on my phone. I'm like, ugh. Well, she is paying me really good money, so I do answer the call, but I just never really want to.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Okay, let me begin at the beginning.
Okay.
Just to kind of recap. So this is the guy, the surgeon guy that I went to Olive and Ivy.
Yeah.
For our first meet and greet.
And he gave you a Nordstrom's gift certificate.
No.
That wasn't the guy?
We're backing up even further.
Oh, further than that.
It's the same guy, but this was the booger guy.
Oh, that's
so
right.
So this is the guy that our whole entire meet and greet was so awkward because that booger was just staring me down the whole entire lunch.
Yeah, and you did that right before the podcast because you were right across the street and then you came over to the podcast.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. And so, you know, that was okay because we ended on a positive note because I excused myself to the bathroom and when I came back, the booger was gone. So that was okay. And then we had a good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Our second date, we met for dinner.
Now, did you guys talk about any compensation allowance, anything?
No,
Nothing.
Not at all. Not at all.
Financial never came up.
No.
Okay.
But he had been out of town for quite some time. And he had mentioned that when he got back from wherever he was, I can't remember, I think Idaho maybe, that he was interested in seeing me again. And I said, well, what would an arrangement with you look like? And he says, well, we'll talk about that next time I take you out.
He didn't want to discuss numbers.
No. But he took me to dinner and gave me, right at the beginning of the dinner, with no expectations, gave me a gift card to Nordstrom's. And I didn't know how much was on there, but it turned out to be $250.
Right.
So, and then he asked me for another dinner, but this one he would like an overnight. So I'm like, well, gosh, if he gave me $250 just to go to dinner, I'm sure an overnight I'll probably get like 3 times that much, right? No.
And,
but before I tell you what he actually gifted me, I want to tell you what I went through.
And he's wealthy, very wealthy.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
this
famous
condo,
surgeon.
And this condo complex he lives in is not cheap.
No.
Right.
Not at all.
Okay.
And he has not 1, but 2 Teslas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So the date started out fine, much like the previous dinner date. He's very well-spoken, very personable, very polite, interactive with everyone in public. And so I liked that a lot. And we had a nice dinner at this Aftermath that I had never been to.
What kind of food was there?
Just
You think
I guess American cuisine, they had steak.
Did they?
I had
Alejandra
steak,
would
yeah.
like it. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
a carnivore.
No, it was good.
Okay.
And it's a nice atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
So afterwards, he wants to take me back to his condo and he wants to play his electric guitar for me and serenade me.
And how old is this gentleman?
He's 62.
Oh, is he? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Never been married.
No.
No kids.
Never been married. No kids.
Surgeon.
Surgeon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to set the scene.
Yeah. I'm like, that's cool. And so he opens a bottle of wine and gets out his guitar and he's going to sing as well. So I'm like, okay, I hope he sings well. He doesn't.
He doesn't.
He's not the worst singer I've ever heard, but definitely not the best. But his electric guitar playing was coming right along.
Okay.
He has a private teacher
All right.
that teaches him electric guitar. So he goes, but before I start playing for you, I have one favor I'd like to ask. Could you wear this that I bought at Fascinations today? And I'm like,
Now, did he buy that specifically for your date?
yeah.
What color was it?
It was black fishnet and it was a puzzle. I opened the package. I'm like, let me have a look at this. It was sort of like fishnet stockings with garters, but the garters were attached and then like an elastic waistband.
Okay.
But I couldn't untangle it. I think it was sewed incorrectly.
Well, things come in from China.
I go, I'm sorry.
mass.
I can't figure this out. I did try.
Yeah.
I can't wear that. I'm sorry. He's like, that's okay. I have another option. Apparently, he really likes fishnet. So this time, I open the package and it's a fishnet body stocking with no crotch. I'm like, okay. So I put it on with my underwear and my bra. He's like, oh, no. You need to take off your underwear and your bra. I'm like, okay, this is going to be a really, really, really good PPM. So, all right, whatever. I'm just chugging the wine at this point. And he sets me in this twirly chair, like this comfortable circle chair,
Mm-hmm.
and to watch him play. And he plays for probably like 20 minutes.
Okay, so you're sitting here in this lingerie-ish outfit that he bought you.
It's a full-on fishnet body stocking.
And
I've got
you're
my
just-
glass of wine and my feet are tucked up beneath me
Oh my
on this
goodness.
circle chair.
wow.
And I'm just listening and nodding along and smiling.
Watching him play guitar. God, this is so unusual. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So it gets better. So then apparently playing guitar for a girl in fishnets makes him a little frisky. So he wanted to, get a little intimate.
Mm-hmm.
But he soon showed his alpha colors. He was so alpha. Oh my God. He wanted to direct every step of what happened intimacy wise. And the first thing he needed me to do was, why am I telling this? The first thing he needed me to do was rub his nipples with my thumbs.
With the murderer thumbs.
With my murderer thumbs. But not only did he want me to rub his nipples, he wanted me to lick my thumbs and rub his nipples.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, fine. Let me have some more wine.
I've never traveled down that road, but maybe I should. I don't know.
Some people really like it. Some people have very sensitive nipples.
Wow.
It's not the first guy that asked me to give them some nipple action, but
All right.
he was
Now, did he have a hairy chest?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's Italian.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So here you are rubbing his nipples with your murder thumbs,
Yeah. And
they're wet.
I had to keep licking and
Oh my goodness.
rubbing and licking and rubbing. And then he wants me to perform oral.
While you're doing that?
Yeah. And so I have to keep doing the nipples. I'm not allowed to use my hands for the oral segment.
And
Yeah.
how was that?
It was just real awkward.
That's like exercise.
Yeah.
A lot of
But you
exercise.
know what? I'm a trooper.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is
My goodness.
this is gonna pay off big time.
Yeah. I mean, after all, he's a surgeon and
Yeah.
very wealthy. And
Yeah.
and you met him on Seeking or where?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Seeking.
So he knows the game.
Yeah, he does know the game. So.
Why do I have a feeling that we know where this is going?
Yeah. So anyway, I endure that. We're done with that. And I'm ready to fall asleep. And so is he. So we're just going to crash and then I'm going to get up and leave in the morning. So here's me kind of trying to get comfortable. I guess I'm moving around a little. And he goes, "Can you stop moving?"
No, this is the overnight.
Yeah.
So you guys are in the same bed.
Yeah.
Is a king size bed, I assume? Okay, it's a big bed.
Yeah. He goes, "What are you doing? Can you stop moving so much? I can't sleep."
Wow.
I'm like, okay.
Very direct.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Then he goes, "I really wish you didn't have hair extensions." And I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "'Cause I'm very sensitive to smell and that does not smell like real hair."
Oh my God.
I'm like, "Oh God." Well, stop sniffing my hair extensions then.
Didn't he even offer you medication for sleep?
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, "Do you need a sleeping pill?" Okay. We've already had wine. He's already had copious amounts of marijuana, which I didn't do that. But then he wants to give me, no, I think I did have a hit or two of marijuana. Then he wants to give me a sleeping pill. I'm like, no,
Right.
I'm not taking any pills. It's not happening. Oh, even better. So I don't even know how the discussion came up, but he told me he takes these peptide injections that are supposed to give you energy and make you feel good and give you, I guess, like more libido. And he's been doing them for a while and they're wonderful. He loves it. And he's going to give me one. I'm like, okay, are there side effects? He's like, yes. The side effect is that you look tan. They make you look tan. I'm like, well, that's okay because I use self-tanner anyway. So he gives me one of those and then he wanted to give me a sleeping pill. I'm like, sir, we've had wine, marijuana, peptide injections. I'm not taking a sleeping pill. I'll be still.
Now, how hard was it for you to go to sleep after all that?
I just chugged my wine and then it was fine.
Yeah.
Except that I'm trying to fall asleep, almost about to, and he is snoring like a freight train. And he had told me, if I start snoring, just wake me up and I'll put on my CPAP machine. Like, okay, that's sexy. But I was afraid to wake him up, so I never did. So yeah, he snored a lot. I didn't get much sleep, but I dozed in and out. So in the morning, I'm like, okay, time for my reward.
Yeah.
And you want to know what the motherfucker gave me? $300.
Wow.
$300 and sent me on my way. And he wants to see me again. Actually, already asked me to dinner again. And I was like, oh, sorry. My week is really crazy. I don't have time to go to dinner this week.
Why don't you just be truthful with him and let him know?
I know. I was trying to figure out how to say it, though.
Yeah. It's not always easy, I know. But I think at this point, you're getting a little bit more direct, aren't you?
Well, he's out of town for most of the summer, and he wants me to come visit him there.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he brings that up, I am going to have to level with him that, you know, if he's going to be calling the shots and directing the show and I'm going to have to be enduring weird commands, he's going to have to be a lot more generous.
Right.
For sure. So sorry if I'm dominating the conversation today.
Well,
but
it's just you and me.
I sort of want to circle back to my meet and greet today.
Okay.
So we went to lunch and this nice Jewish gentleman from Tucson, and really what he's looking for is a travel companion. He wants somebody to go with him to New York and to Europe at the end of September. And you know me, I love adventure and I love travel. So as we get to know each other, if, you know, we really vibe and get along and have good rapport and enjoy each other's company, I'm definitely considering it, especially because he told me that for every day that we're on vacation, he'll give me $600.
Every single day?
Per day. Yeah.
Sign me up.
And he'll also pay for all of my clothing that I would need for traveling, etc.
Life of a sugar baby's pretty good.
Yeah.
Or it can be.
So yeah, things have been going much better for me lately. I've met some very nice and generous guys along with the weirdos.
Yeah. You know, since it's just you and me, it's been a long time since we actually got into your backstory I mean, we kind of hint about it and touch on it a little bit,
Yeah.
but you just kind of get some, because we get new listeners all the time. Our numbers just keep going up and up and up. It's so funny. I was looking back at our first week downloads of episode 1, and I think it was like 23 downloads for the for the entire week for episode 1. And now, we're getting close to 1,000 downloads.
Yeah, that's cool.
Per episode in a week.
Yeah.
So obviously we got a lot of new listeners, and we keep getting new listeners. You've been sugar dating for like a year and a half.
Is it closer to 2 years maybe?
Well, I was the first guy you met, and that was in December of 2021.
Okay.
So
yeah.
It's May.
I don't
so yeah,
know.
that's 6
Don't
months.
ask me to do math.
Year and a half.
It always ends up awful if I try to do math.
Yeah.
So I've been doing it for a while, and what led me to it was I lived in a very small town, and I had gone through a divorce, and there was literally no one age appropriate of any caliber in my town to date. And so I knew I had to do online dating if I wanted to date, and I was ready to date because I had been in a very repressive, non-sexual, no intimacy marriage we were together 14 years, married 12, and I would say probably the last 7, there was no intimacy.
Wow.
Because there had been some issues with him being unfaithful.
Mm-hmm. And you're like, well, if he's unfaithful, he's not getting any.
Yeah, well, I just got to the point where I sort of forgave him, but I just didn't want him to touch me after that because I just wasn't comfortable with it anymore.
So you kind of friend zoned your husband.
Yeah, I friend zoned my husband.
Yeah.
But it was fine because we're actually still friends, and he is a good person. He just cannot be faithful to save his life. He just can't do it. It's not in his DNA.
Men do struggle with that.
Yeah.
A lot of men do.
But, at the time, I didn't want to go through yet another divorce because, I was raising my daughter and she was close to him, and I just didn't want to put her through another divorce. So stuck it out till she was grown. And even stuck it out a couple of years beyond that. But then I just realized, you know what? I am in my 50s and I would like to live my best life. And I love romance and I love adventure, and I'm not getting that.
Right.
And so we decided to divorce, and we divorced very amicably. So that was good. We're still friends. But when I was ready to start dating again, it had to be online. And it was
you're not going to a bar.
No.
Especially in a small town,
No.
and the profession that you had was very public.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So started setting up meet and greets out of town off the traditional dating sites, and that was just a shit show. Not finding any luck. And I was like, there's got to be some place where I can meet high caliber, educated, sophisticated, quality, wealthy men.
There's got to be a place.
There's got to be a place.
They're hanging out
And
somewhere.
I'm Googling those words, and it pops up this seeking.com. And so I'm like, let's sign up for this and see what it's all about.
So nobody told you about it? You hadn't heard anything about it?
I just Googled what I was looking for, and Google said, you're looking for this.
What were your thoughts of a sugar baby at that point in your
I
life?
didn't even know the terminology.
What?
I didn't. Well, okay. I thought you meant like sugar, like from the site, because it doesn't come up on the site.
Yeah, no, but what were your thoughts of what a sugar baby was or is?
I hadn't put much thought into it. You always hear jokes about old men and young women,
Right.
arm candy and that type of thing.
Yeah.
I really wasn't looking for that at the time. I was just actually looking for my person, looking for a solid relationship with someone who wasn't a deadbeat loser, which is all I was going to find in my hometown, or a married guy. And I wasn't into that either.
Right.
So I started exploring the site, and I'm not realizing that it's a sugar site. I don't even know what sugar dating is at that time. I had no idea. And so
the messages you must have gotten initially.
You were one of the first people that reached out to me. Well, you're the first person I actually met, but one of the first people that communicated with me on the site.
Well, you know what, though? I saw your profile on there for a little while, and your age was a little bit higher than what I was looking for, but you're so beautiful and put together. I thought, you know what? I am going to message her and just see what she's all about. I was a little skeptical, though.
Yeah?
And I'll tell you why. Because it had your location as Arizona, Arizona.
Oh, yeah. I didn't want to put the name of my hometown.
And most of the scammers will live, you look at the scammers and they don't put, or I say most, a lot of them don't put a specific town. Like when I travel to Texas, it'll say Texas, Texas, or whatever, Michigan, Michigan.
Yeah.
They don't actually put a town. And when I saw Arizona, Arizona, I'm like,
what is that?
I don't know if she's real or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm real. I just didn't want to put the name of my hometown.
Well, it made sense once you explained it to me.
Yeah, and I also didn't want anybody to hit me up who is in my hometown, although I don't think there's too many sugar daddies where I'm from. But you know what? Good old Ryan.
Yeah, who was Vivian's
guy is from my small hometown.
Yeah.
Ironically.
And you guys know a lot of the same people.
Yeah, we do. So here I am. You guys have heard all my stories.
Well, you said that I was one of the first guys to reach out. I'm surprised.
Well, I think a lot of people were messaging me. You were the first person I actually met.
Right. I knew that.
And you broached it from, well, I run this podcast and I get lots of questions about what it's like to be an older sugar baby. And I'm like, an older what?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm like, I was well, this is starting to make sense. Some of the messages I've gotten.
You're so naive.
Yeah, I still wasn't quite understanding what this lifestyle was about. I truly thought I was going to meet Prince Charming and get whisked away on his yacht or his private jet.
Right.
That's all I wanted. But yeah, so I came up and I stayed with my girlfriend up here, and I went out with you and you explained a lot of things to me and things started making sense. So I just continued from there.
That's a good segue to this article that I have printed out in front of me, because I was your first date.
Yes.
And the article is First Date Safety Preparation.
Yes. And
some
see,
tips.
I knew nothing. I was using my real phone number.
I think when we go through here, you're going to find that you did do a lot of these things.
And I came straight to your house.
I know. So there's 12 tips here. And the very first one is video chat before you date.
Yeah, I did
that. And you
that.
did that.
Yes.
So it says, in addition to being solid first date safety practice, video chatting is a fun way to connect with your date before meeting up.
Such a great idea.
Yeah.
On so many levels.
There's no need to share personal information like your number or Instagram before you're ready to. Well, okay, so this one's through Seeking, is saying you can simply call through their site. We tried that. We actually tried to video chat, I think, through the site. It wasn't working well.
It's not very user-friendly or effective.
But there are ways that you can video chat with someone without doing it through your real number. Now, I don't remember.
You can use like your Google number on WhatsApp.
Yeah, because I didn't have an iPhone at that time. I just got mine last year, like last summer, and so we'd already met. So I can't remember how we video chatted. Was it through WhatsApp or?
It might have been Skype.
Maybe.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. But we found a way.
Yeah, we figured it out.
And even though I had an Android and you had an iPhone, we were able to video chat. The second one, it says, but be careful with sending photos. If you've been online dating for longer than roughly 3 minutes, you already know it's pretty common for matches to ask for more pics as soon as you exchange numbers and start talking off the site. Most of the time, someone asks this just because they want to make sure you're as beautiful as you are in the photos.
Yeah.
However, though, although it's fine to send pics, it's a good idea not to share personal information with someone you haven't met in person. There's a lot of personal info that can be found in photos. Because of this, a good alternative to sending pics is to suggest a video chat, which is step number 1. If you do decide to send photos, make sure there is nothing unnecessarily revealing in the pic, like a license plate number or home address. Also, if you're sending pics over text, keep in mind that photos automatically come in with a geotag. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so there's a way you can turn that off, turn off that feature.
But a lot of people don't even think about it.
I didn't think about it, but one of the people that reached out to me was in law enforcement, and they taught me how to do it, how to turn off that.
Yeah. So a geotag is basically the location in which the photo was snapped, and it's automatically shared with the person you're texting if they choose to save the photo. The best way to get around this is to screenshot the photo and then send the screenshot instead. Or you can send the pic through Instagram DM after you've exchanged that info. As we said, it's likely that your match has zero ill intentions and simply wants to admire your gorgeous self, but we are all about first date safety, and it's better to just take these tips as a precaution. Number 3, do some harmless sleuthing. Now, I certainly do that if I can. Do you do any of that?
Yeah, I like to Google. I Googled my guy that I went to lunch with today.
Did you? Yeah, It says Google is your friend.
He's on LinkedIn.
Yeah, a lot of them are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with Googling your date a few days before you meet up. On the off chance that you do find some questionable info, trust your gut and cancel the date ASAP. You don't have to tell them it's because of whatever sketchy thing you found out. You can say you forgot it's your aunt's birthday dinner that day or something. Do we encourage lying? No, but we also don't encourage going on a date with someone you've uncovered some icky info about.
Yeah.
And I've told the story a couple times where I was actually on the way to pick someone up, and I Googled their information while I was at the gas station, and they had literally just got out of prison the day before for drug charges, and it looked like it was meth situation. And I was picking them up in a very seedy part of town.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That could have gone all kinds of sideways.
And I was new to the sugar dating scene, so I was a little naive myself. Number 4, keep your phone on and charged. You'll need your phone for most of the other steps we're about to tell you. Not only that, but if you don't have a car, you might need to call yourself a rideshare service or a taxi at the end of the night. If you have a wireless phone charger, this will be a great thing to bring along with you to your date so you can keep your cell phone charged at all times.
Except for that time when you go on a meet and greet and you're walking 3 miles and you have 0 cell phone service.
Well, and that's number 5. Share your plans and location, which you do a great job of doing. Now, you didn't do that initially.
No.
But as we became closer, you trust me.
My location is shared with you all the time.
Yeah, you never turn it off.
No.
And I never look at it. I don't stalk
But
you,
if I went missing, you would.
I would try
right?
to, yeah.
I know you're far too busy to keep checking on me,
I know.
but if you didn't hear from me for a couple days.
It says, before your date, make sure your phone's location services are turned on. Then tell a local loved one that you're going on a date and where you are headed. Ask if you can share your location with them. This can be a trusted friend, family member, roommate, coworker, and so on. We say local because if you do need to get a hold of someone, but the person you've chosen is in, say, like Wales, and you're based in New York City, that doesn't really help you with your safety on a first date. Before the date, make sure your location services are working. Remember to text your local loved one when you get home for the night to let them know you've made it back safely. Unfortunately, we've read and heard about some unfortunate stories on online dating.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for the most part, it's pretty safe, but you do need to take safety precautions, and that's why we're going over this. Number 6, arrange your own transportation, both to and from the date. Now, I used to, and I haven't really been dating a lot lately because I've got a pretty solid sugar baby, but I used to send them a car.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, my 2.5-year, what do we name her?
Madison.
Madison.
Good old Madison.
Oh, yeah. Well, that would kind of work. She gave me her house, and I went and picked her up, like the very first date, like where she was living. Now, we had been texting for about a month, so she did trust me, but we did talk about, I can't believe you actually gave me your address, and I came over to your house. But she was living with her mom and her children at the house, so... Anyway, so it says, for your first few dates with a new match, have them meet you at the restaurant, lounge, or other date spot. Drive your own car, take public transportation or rideshare service, or have a friend drop you off. The first couple dates is too soon to let a new partner know where you live, so don't let them take you to your house afterwards. You really don't know anybody for a first few dates.
No.
They can hide in that sheep's clothing for a while.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so you just got to make sure. I know Amy never lets anybody call her a ride share or anything. She always drives to the date.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember talking to her about that, and she's like, well, I just like to have my car there in case I need to get away.
In case she needs to escape.
Yeah.
Well, and she had a really scary incident, didn't she? Where the guy knew her address and he went inside her house.
Well, that happened, yes. And then there was another time that a guy was stalking her at her other house that she lives in, and he was actually telling her about what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty bad. And then
That's
remember the
terrifying.
guy that flew her in a plane and then left her at the bar for like an hour?
Mm-hmm.
She had no idea what was going to happen.
Yeah, what could she have done? That's scary.
All right, number 7, you're pretty good at this. Always meet in a public place.
Yeah, I do that for sure.
For first date safety, avoid going to anyone's house, hotel suite, or other secluded location. Make sure to always meet in a public place around other people. If your date suggests another locale, simply state that you don't meet first dates in private. And if they push back, it's probably not a good match. Bye-bye. Their loss.
I agree.
Except during COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how many people came over to my house? Sight unseen, first date? Yeah, more than should have. And there was a couple times I opened the door and I was instant regret.
Yeah.
For me.
Well,
rolling the dice.
I mean, I drove in from out of town and...
Well, you and I had met.
Yeah, we'd FaceTimed and...
FaceTimed.
Yeah, we'd FaceTimed and talked quite a lot. But, I mean, still...
Mm-hmm.
You could have been a good actor.
I could have been.
Acting like you weren't homicidal.
Right. Number 8, and Kimmy actually had this come up. Keep an eye on your drink.
Yeah.
If you and your date are having something to drink on your outing, make sure not to let your drink out of your sight. Whether you opt for a glass of Chardonnay or a French martini, don't leave your drink unattended until you finish it. And Kimmy came back and there was things floating in her drink.
Okay, so I actually went on a date with a guy who said he had been drugged at a bar and he feels like it was by the bartender. And I can't remember any more details of the story, but I don't know if the guy was like trying to hit on the chick he was with. I don't know. But he got very woozy and had to go back to his hotel room and didn't remember anything the next day.
Well, yeah, I know in Vegas, it's very common for men to meet a strange woman at a bar, go up to their room and not remember a thing.
And then their wallet's gone.
Their wallet's gone. Their watch is gone.
Yeah.
Their computer is gone. This happens a lot. It's actually happened to friends of mine.
That is crazy.
And matter of fact, the World Series of Poker is coming up here in June and July this summer. And the scammers are out in force because there's a ton of money that these poker players bring with them. So you got to be careful when you're meeting that strange woman at the bar. That's for sure. Have enough money to get yourself home. That's number 9. Never rely on your date to get you home after the evening is done. Make sure that you have some cash on you or enough money on your card to get yourself home when you're done. The first couple of dates is too early to let someone new know where you live, as we've talked about earlier. How about this, number 10? Trust your gut. What are you doing?
I'm opening the coconut cream pie that I got at Maple and Ash last night.
So you went to Maple and Ash?
Yeah.
And I told you the coconut cream pie is the bomb.
I haven't tasted it yet.
Wait, you haven't?
No, I was too full from dinner, so I brought this home and it to go.
Oh my gosh. Why are you tempting me like that? I'm right in the middle of some very important sugar dating tips.
This is sugar.
Yes, it is. All right, as Lily takes a bite of the coconut cream pie, you're going to love this. How good is that?
Oh my God. That is great.
See, I had reservations to go to Maple and Ash with Alejandra the other day, but we had to cancel because something came up and she couldn't make it. But she was, no, I don't want to go there because I want that coconut cream pie.
Oh my God, it's so good.
But she's on a 75 hard challenge.
You know what?
Right now.
Maple and Ash is my new favorite restaurant.
Yeah?
It's so sexy.
It is.
The service is wonderful. Great atmosphere. The food was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
I had filet and mushrooms and this coconut cream pie.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Well, I know Cafe Monarch has gotten business through this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten letters from people and messages from people that actually flew in from out of town
To go to Cafe Monarch?
just to go there on our recommendation.
Well, this was my first time going there, and it was a guy that I see about once a month from out of town. He's from Las Vegas and Atlantic City. And I finally remember what he does. He does restaurant concepts, like design. So he travels all over the country. And he was very impressed with maple and ash. Mm-hmm. Do you know why they call it maple and ash?
I think it's because of the wood that they use to fire up.
They use oak and maple and ash on their open fire grill.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the surf and turf, the lobster and steak, and I'm telling you what, that was the best lobster I've ever had.
That is what we had.
Wasn't
but we
it
shared.
Fantastic?
Yeah. That's the other thing.
It's kind of charred a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so good.
So good.
Yeah.
It's a little smoky taste.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're almost finished with this article, so let's go back to number 10, trust your gut. If your instincts are telling you something is wrong, believe them. If you're at the beginning of the date but start to get a weird vibe or something your match said rubbed you the wrong way, it's okay to bow out a little early. It's better to do that than to wait around to see just how correct your bad feelings are. How many times have your gut instinct proved exactly that?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
What are you talking about?
I'm having a cream pie orgasm over here.
Literally. Well.
Oh my God. What was the question?
Trusting your gut.
Oh, no. Yeah. Trust your gut.
Yeah. If somebody's flaky in the beginning, don't dismiss that. They just showed you exactly who they are.
Don't be ignoring them red flags.
Yeah, do not ignore them red flags, because a lot of times it's early and maybe we are attracted to this person and we see potential in them, but they are showing you exactly who they are.
Yeah.
And if your gut is telling you something's not right here, I can promise you something is not right.
So one of my guys, I absolutely adore him now, but initially there was a red flag or two. But here's what I love about him. This is my trucker guy.
Okay.
The minute I told him the red flag that was bothering me, that could be a roadblock to our dating, he corrected it.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, because, we're talking about sugar dating and whatever. And, you can talk more openly with people about the fact that you're not exclusive and probably not monogamous. But he took it a step too far, because we were at a nice restaurant and I go to the restroom and I come back and all he can talk about is the two hot chicks at the table across the room. I was like, excuse me, sir, all eyes on me. What am I, chopped liver? And he was like, oh, well, because we're not serious, or I figured I could talk about that. I'm like, you absolutely will not. I need to feel like I am the most important woman in this room.
Absolutely.
And you can't even take your eyes off me to look at them. Granted, they were attractive women, but still. But you know what? He's never done it again. He apologized profusely. He's like, that is really good advice.
There you go.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter what kind of dating you're doing.
Yeah.
Don't be wandering your eyes, sir.
Even though we're older, we still need to refresh ourselves on dating etiquette and always be learning and trying to figure out, the best way. Because whether you're 17 years old dating somebody, taking somebody to your high school prom, or whether you're 65 and you're dating somebody, there's not much that changes. You still need to be courteous and respectful.
Yeah.
Whether it's sugar dating or traditional dating. Yeah.
Which, granted, you will be a little more open and talk about things that you probably wouldn't in a regular dating situation, but don't be checking out the goods when you're with me, sir.
Right. All right, finally, this article is pretty good. Know your boundaries and respect them. Before your date, set some boundaries for yourself. You don't have to share these with your match. These are boundaries for just yourself to make sure you have the best evening possible. For example, how long do you want to stay out? Do you want to drink? If so, 1 glass of wine or 2? Once you decide, do not waver. Set your boundaries and then stick to them. If you decide to leave at 10 p.m. because you have work the next day, but then you're having such a great time you wish you could stay longer, you can always ask your match when they are free for a second date. I think that's very important. And those are the people that I have the most success with. Is a lot of times I'll go out with somebody, let's just say Alejandra. She gets up very early in the morning and works out. She gets up like at 5:15, and then is at the gym by 6 a.m. We can't have a late night. we're not staying out till 1 o'clock in the morning. So at 10 o'clock, when she says, yeah, I'm tired, I got to go to bed, you just got to respect that, even though we might be having such a great time and want to extend the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we got responsibilities.
Except Lily has a very lenient boss, which is sitting
yes.
across from her. And so she just kind of wanders in to work.
For some reason,
wanders in.
My boss lets me get away with murder and set my own work hours, but it's because he loves my stories. And he knows if I'm out late, there's bound to be a good story involved.
Well, you are doing a ton of podcast research.
Absolutely. Podcast research.
We'll finish it up. I got a couple of emails and messages, and keep them coming. Matter of fact, some of these I'm going to address in some extra sugars because we always seem to run out of time during our regular episodes. But I got one just recently. It says, can I be a guest on your show? Hi, Marcus. I'm a sugar daddy in the L.A. area and have been so for 15 years. I've had 13 arrangements from 3 months to 3 years, currently in 2 concurrent arrangements of 6 months.
Wow.
I've had high
He's a
highs
good juggler.
and low lows with love, deception, and outright blackmail.
Oh, yep. I've heard that before.
I've been married for over 20 years with 2 grown kids. I identify as ethically non-monogamous, though I haven't always been either ethical or non-monogamous at points in my journey. I think I'd be a great guest for your show. Let me know if you agree. Porter Edwards, not my real name, he says. So thanks for writing in. I will have...
Bring it on, Porter. We'd love to hear your story.
Yeah, I will have Lily get in touch with you soon. All right, let me go pull the Instagram. I've got quite a few messages in the Instagram box here. Appreciate you guys. And that is the quickest way of getting a hold of us. I post a lot of stories and kind of updates on the show, little clips of teasers of the show. Pretty active there. Oh, so also too on Action Junkies podcast. We were on that. It's out of LA. It's out of Las Vegas. We did that back in March. They finally posted a clip.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. And it's basically Charlie Phoenix arguing with one of the guests that they had.
They posted the argument? Yeah. That's rich.
Over allowance, like how much a guy has to make to, give somebody a certain amount of allowance. So there's a short little clip. It's on our Instagram. So if you want to see that, you actually might see Marcus in that clip too.
There you go.
I kind of popped up. I didn't say anything, but if you want to see what I look like, there's a little sneak peek.
Do you know I'm less than 3 weeks out from my European vacation with Podcast Fanboy?
Yeah.
I'm so excited. He messages me every day like, here's a list of the groceries that we're going to stock in the villa. And we got a porter to carry all of our luggage up the steps. And it's just going to be wonderful. He thinks of everything. He is a great planner.
And he's fine with you talking about all your shenanigans?
Oh, yeah, because he listens to this religiously. And I'm always worried. I adore him. I don't ever want to offend him or rub him the wrong way. But he actually says, nothing is off limits. You just live your best life and tell me all about it. In fact, I texted him this morning and I said, hey, I'm going to a meet and greet with a guy from Tucson before the show. Do you have any topics or subjects you would want to hear about on the next episode? And he's like, no, not really. You guys just do your thing. I'm like, all right, we will.
So I do have a message on Instagram from, I don't know, starts with an S. Hello, hope you are well. I've been an active listener for your podcast and absolutely love it. Just wondering if you're interested in listening on the Asia's side of sugaring stories. I'm originally from Singapore, a little red dot, and how this taboo website works in Asian countries. Thank you.
Oh, gosh, that'll be interesting.
But you know what I thought was interesting is, who was it, Christian, that said that when he went overseas that the sugar dating was completely different there? It wasn't as active in Europe?
That was...
Kind of
was his name Christian? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's...
I think so.
I think he's the one that brought it up.
I think you're right, sir. How about this weather in Scottsdale, Arizona? It has been beautiful.
Mm-hmm. The mornings and the nights are Fantastic. Okay, well.
I've been riding my bike that my sugar daddy bought me.
All right, here I got one last one before we wrap up. This is from Rachel.
What does Rachel have to say?
She says, "Hi, Marcus and crew. I have a question. I joined SA at the end of November 2022, and I have met people here and there. I now have this one gentleman we met end of February, and things look promising. We've been on 2 dates, and we've been texting about simple, normal life things. I have naturally shared a little more about me, such as where I work and what I do. Nothing physically intimate has happened yet, and we haven't discussed any arrangements or money stuff. He has invited me to his place, but I declined the offer. Too soon. To be fair, I never asked. It makes me uncomfortable, and he hasn't brought it up. So we are just going with the flow, but he gave me a little bit of cash each time we met. Nice gesture. So yesterday, I casually asked him about his work and company name. He owns a business, and he literally ignored my question. He instead asked me how my day went and all that. I was confused and a little hurt since he knows about my job and all that. Is this normal in sugar relationship?"
Well, a lot of people have a huge need for privacy, so I don't think that's unusual.
Yeah. I say just give it some time.
Yeah, give it some time.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to tell you all their details until they really, really
But the more
trust
time
you.
you spend together, things will
Yeah.
start coming up about work and life and
Yeah, you got to
relationships.
build trust. So, did you hear what I said? I went on a bike ride this morning.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell you that my trucker sugar daddy bought me a $900
Yes,
bicycle?
You did. We talked about that last time.
Did we? Did I
Yeah.
tell you he gave me an Amex card?
Oh, yeah. You just got that in the mail.
Yeah.
Well, aren't you just the sugar life is good,
Yeah.
good to Lily.
I'm living it up, living large,
All right.
loving my situations.
Well,
They're all good right now.
we would certainly love to hear your sugar dating stories like we've heard from Lily. I'm sure you've got some good ones. Or if you can just keep
Knock
listening
on wood.
and we'll keep sharing ours and our guests. Go to our website at secretsofasugardaddy.com. And like I said, follow us on Instagram, message us there. You can get a hold of us very quickly. And then go to our website, click on some of the links at the bottom. And my favorite is the OMGYes program, where it teaches you how to pleasure a woman properly. All right, Lily, thanks for sharing all those great stories.
You betcha.
And we'll have more next week.
Yes, we will.
All right. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.